All right, following up from our phonics workshop we had last week, we're going to begin our Seed 1 Introduction to Sentence Reading mock teaching workshop. In front of you have our Smart TV program where you can see the contents of our books laid out on the TV. So today I'm going to start with what we call knowledge activation. We do this so that we can activate students' previous experiences related to the topic. The topic today is going to be based around family. So what we would start with first is, of course, the
family knowledge activation
and title.
Title.
That probably makes sense. Yeah, the title.
So let's begin with the
Title.
Everyone, read 3, 2, 1.
Uncle Texas.
Uncle Texas. Very good. Now let's follow that up with some questions to break down the title. Can anyone tell me or describe who is an uncle in your family? Is it the same as your father?
The milkman.
I don't think so, Mr.
A
Rory.
boy.
A boy, very good. It is a man, and an uncle is related to you through your mother or father. So, an uncle is someone who is related to. Oh, I'm making this so hard. I'm sorry. And your uncle is your mother or your father's brother. Do you have any uncles in your family?
The milkman.
Oh, how shocking! What is your uncle's name? My uncle's name is Uncle Mike. What is your uncle's name, Rory?
I actually don't know.
He doesn't have any real
I don't
uncles.
think I have any uncles, but I'm not actually
We'll
sure.
skip you.
Well, maybe you have an aunt.
Oh, Aunt. Yeah.
Who
Wait.
is your aunt?
Kathy.
You have an Aunt Kathy. How about you, Tiffany?
I have an Aunt Kathy too.
Shocking! You have something in common. Do you have any uncles, Tiffany?
I do. I have lots.
Oh, wonderful. Now, class, Uncle Texas. Does anyone know this word Texas? Say together, Texas.
Texas.
Is that someplace in Korea?
It's someplace terrible.
True, I agree. Texas is not in Korea. It is in America. Let's look at this picture together. What country do you see?
America.
It's
And over
America.
Canada.
Very good.
Vancouver.
At the bottom of America, you can see Texas. So Texas is part of America. We're talking about an American family. Now here, let's look at these two pictures. So here we have two pictures and two sentences. We need to match the sentences to the pictures. Please read sentence A, Tiffany.
Teru draws a family tree.
Beautiful. And B, Rory.
Yumi plays badminton with her uncle.
Now let's look at these pictures. If it's picture 1, clap your hands. If it's picture 2, stomp your feet. I'll read now. Teru draws a family tree. Which is it? Ding dong, ding dong. So who is this?
Teru.
Teru, and what is he drawing?
A family tree.
You geniuses. Now I'll read B. Yumi plays badminton with her uncle. Yes. Who is this little girl?
Yumi.
And who is she playing with?
Boy.
The milkman.
The uncle. And what game is it?
Badminton.
Very good. Hands up. Good job, me.
Good job, me.
All right, now let's follow it up with our question. Read the question, Rory.
What do you like to do with your family?
So what does your family do for fun together? For example, my family loves to eat chicken. What about your family, Rory?
We yell at each other.
That's so much fun. How about your family, Tiffany?
They like to drink together and sometimes play games.
Oh my God, mine is the same. And we eat chicken while we do it too. There are so many fun things we do with our family. Now, let's go on ahead to the next page. Here is our story for today, everyone. Let's look at the picture. Do you want to mock that one?
Vanessa, what's up?
Well, I think
Welcome to my class.
Maybe I'm speaking for everyone, but for number 4, announcements are already really long.
Yeah, they are.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Let's start at number 1 first.
Okay, let's start from number 1. Okay, so as you have already seen, Vanessa, our new class opened for public class.
Pine class.
Oh, sorry, Pine class. Our
Very
name
pleasure
is
seeing
changed to Pine class. Then, so for just moving on to graduation, we're gonna be having a graduation photo shoot. So moving on to number 3, this is just like a suggestion. I kind of wanted to know your ideas about this. So because I've been getting a lot of like feedback that if you have like a student that's joining in for after school class suddenly and then you don't know about them and communication, I think in that sense was a little bit difficult. So I was thinking maybe like a good way is if you have like a separate cacao room for that. So because in the Korean, when we get like alarms and alerts whenever we have like a new student joining into after school class.
Okay.
So I thought if this could help you guys, but then that means that you guys would also have to check that cacao room like regularly so that you would also know that which students are joining for which classes. So if this helps, then I can make one. If not really, then
I mean, it seems like I like the idea, but it seems like it's kind of a overcomplicated way just to like Moon just came and say, hey, by the way, you have one new student. He's starting next week.
right.
Done.
That's
Thank
like
you.
the most ideal
I like
way,
that
but
way.
sometimes like the Korean teachers are so busy with everything else going on, and then they sometimes forget. And just to like kind of prevent that, I think that'd be ideal. Like if they can just like let you guys know immediately, that's the best way.
Will they know, like, then I'm all for the cacao group, will they let us know prior, like, early on in the cacao group? Like, oh, by the way, in next week, blah, 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 we'll be joining, or we'll be like, oh, by the way, so-and-so will be there in 15 minutes, good luck.
So it depends on the situation really. Like if the parents call in like 15 minutes before, then it is just like we can't really do
shouldn't
anything
allow
about
that.
it.
Oh.
If they say like, if they call in and then suddenly they ask for after school that day, then those are I think the situations when we have to kind of let the teachers know like immediately.
Alright, let's give it a shot
So
and
some
see
of
what
them do
happens.
sign up at the last minute for.
Yeah, some of them do. And also because like a lot of the new classes and the new students, for them they sign up like last
I think
minute.
to make it more
because
useful also, and now changes to after school.
changes
Meaning classroom changes,
Yeah.
the teacher's absent, all after school related changes there, so everyone knows as
Yeah,
well.
so maybe we should have like an after school class cacao room if there's any changes we can
Yes.
kind of communicate
I'm
about
down.
that.
Okay, you could use it for even like the full time, if it's like, if there's a change with the full time schedule as well.
네. The morning announcement. This is where I think done the second round for you because Yuna went today.
Yeah,
She was the
that's
last
awesome.
one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to set up a new like whole new rotation. But we were thinking we just want to kind of keep the library location as it is right now, or we can kind of move up to the gym. But I think that's like too much. Maybe we could just like continue doing it in the library. But
Okay, so which one are we gonna continue in the library?
a morning announcement.
I mean, I'm for that, but I will say,
I feel like it'd be more convenient for us, and we could do it in the gym, and we don't have to go down.
Right.
Does the PA system, does it connect in the gym?
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
entire
yeah.
system?
Yeah, to the entire
Oh,
building.
okay, yeah, that kind of.
Also for
resolves
my
the issue.
class, like, you know how shy they are?
Right.
It doesn't really make a difference because sometimes they just want to do it with no one there.
yeah. I mean, I'm not against it. We can come down and do it. I just think it is a little bit much for them to do right now because there's musical and there's like science project coming up, which they're both gonna have to memorize for, and then speech contest on top of it.
Right.
So it's a lot of like performing for them to have to do with like practice and memorization. So I think it kind of takes a lot of time for them.
It's kind of making morning kind of awkward too because my class has to stop what they're doing to listen. And it is kind of making, not a lot, but it's stopping everything at awkward times for us. So I feel like shorter announcements will be a lot better for everyone.
So I was thinking because usually like right now we have like 2 classes going in like each week, and that was I think kind of giving pressure to the teachers and like to the students because as soon as you're done with like one student, you have like another student that has to prepare for announcement. So I was thinking this time like even if we do it, maybe just kind of like separate and mix the students. So meaning like so today it would be like Willow, and then Willow wouldn't go until like the next week.
So
Or, like,
shuffling it?
Yeah, kind of shuffling more so that each teachers and students will have more time to prepare for it.
Okay.
Will we be able to fit in all of the kids in the amount of time we have left for online classes?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think
We talk about Eric first, just because he's always my most troubling student. So just to kind of give you a background, his test scores for the past 3 weeks have been the lowest in the class, despite covering it for the past, I don't know, no, it has to be more than that. I think 2 months, about 8 weeks, covering grammar for the past 2 months. He can't really identify a noun, he can't identify an adjective, and he struggles to identify verbs, and we're moving on to proper nouns, and it was during this time, during proper nouns, that I realized he can't do any of it.
Is Eric getting like 30% in grammar?
Yeah. He, looking at him right here, he got a 33
Yeah.
and the class average was 72.
16?
They get a 16, and the class average was a 70 that work, a 16%. So that means out of the 6 questions, he got 1 right. And
Does grammar depend on the week? Like about what your topic is for the week?
well, it's the same basic format for every single test. I give them 6 words, and they know that there are 2 nouns, 2 adjectives, and 2 verbs in there, and they have to use a shape to identify which one. If they ever forget the shape, they're up on the wall over there, so they can clearly reference.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's not understanding grammar, and I'm kind of at a loss.
Well, because the thing is, like, his parents don't speak English, right, or do they?
His parents. Give us a minute. Recording. Give me a minute. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. His parents speak a little bit of English, but they're not fluent. His dad speaks more than his mother does.
Okay, so is this something that they can practice with him at home or not really?
Well, this, I don't know about their abilities in grammar, so I couldn't say about that. I know, I kind of want them to actually start taking less of a hold at home, because I found out recently his father has actually been doing most of his Eric's homework, which is why he will be able to score really well on his homework, and even scores well on some of the tests, because they just drill him at home and give him the words and give him the sentences. But when it comes to actual in-class things, he can't do it all. So the parents, I'm kind of fighting with a little bit.
Well, because, like, I'm wondering how much of the grammar thing has to do with comprehension, because we've talked before about, like, his listening and understanding is, like, kind of minimal. And I'm wondering if there's a way that,
Oh, I understand what you mean.
you know, it's like if you're discussing it in class and he's going through the motions, but his comprehension is not really following up, either because he's having difficulty with comprehending the concept or because his listening skills aren't really there.
I think it's both. I'm thinking what happened is his reading skills, when he first came into class, his reading skills were really high, and I unfortunately mistook that as his overall comprehension was high. I found out later 100% wrong right there. No, he can read really well, but he doesn't know what he's reading.
Yeah.
And he's, just because of his own attitude during class and the fact that he's getting so much help at home, like too much help, I don't think he's progressed at all in his listening abilities, just because he doesn't have to. He can go home and ask his parents in Korean, and he can kind of just mimic the other students during class just to get through the day. So I was thinking of devising a voice thread to test him on his actual listening comprehension, and I know his reading comprehension isn't there. I see it every day.
Well, I'm wondering, okay, so, like, if you're focusing on grammar, specifically with, like, parts of the types of words, like nouns, verbs, and adjectives, I'm wondering if it comes down, number one, because he doesn't have, like, vocabulary in English. Like, his reading is there, but, like, does he not even understand what these words are?
That's the thing. He's capable of reading them, so I know he can read them. The words are taken from words that were from the previous lesson. So these are all words he's seen before. But after coming back and talking to him, like, because they have to do test corrections as well, and he'll bring it back the next day, and there will still be a few incorrect answers even after he's worked on it. And I realized he, even after practicing the words in the previous lesson, knowing what they mean, he comes to the test having absolutely no idea what the word means, and then he's not able to define it.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, last year we used to have a book for after school, like seed and all that, where they would connect the Korean word with the English word.
I know that one.
So I know that we're trying to, like, keep the Korean out of it so they can understand the English word in its own context. But I think you could send a worksheet home for Eric. And what you could do is basically have it be like a gluing worksheet. So, like, here are the squares. Glue it in the adjective section. Glue it in the noun section. Glue it in the verb section, or however he can sort it. But have Tara, or, you know, whoever can do it, write the Korean word next to it. Because if he doesn't understand what the word means,
see if he can understand the concept of how to sort them. If he like knows what an adjective is, he knows what a noun is, he knows what a verb is based on like how that's defined. And then see if he can just sort out these words. Maybe the vocabulary is confusing him. And if he can do that, then he'll demonstrate he knows what those three kinds of words are.
Okay. I actually love that idea. I really do. My only kind of worry about that is I obviously Tara would have to come in and kind of help me out with that, and I don't know if there's like nouns, verbs, and adjectives in Korean, because I remember that if you end anything with a hada, that is both a verb and an adjective simultaneously. So I'll talk to Tara and see if that's a viable exercise. If it is, though, no, it's actually a really good one. So it just kind of takes the language out of it, and it's pure, do you know the idea? I like that a lot, actually.
I think it helps to check, formally assess directly whether or not he understands the three things. And then outside of that, you can build vocabulary in English that can fit into the categories.
I worry about giving it to him as homework, again, just because those parents. So I'd have to find a time during the day. Luckily, he does stay after school at least 2 days out of the week. So I know I can get him to do it then. All right, I'll talk to Tara and see if that's feasible.